Your life isn't shaped by random luck, it's molded by the choices you make. But here's the deeper insight: it's not even shaped by big, dramatic decisions. It transforms through the small, consistent ones you make every day. Let me share something I've learned firsthand. It doesn't take years to change your life. It doesn't even need a month. A single, focused week can ignite the shift. 7 days of deliberate action. 7 days where you boldly say, I won't be ruled by my distractions anymore. I won't keep replaying the same version of myself. See, habits are like invisible chains, so light you barely feel them until they're too strong to break. But the moment you shift your habits, you begin to change your inner rhythm. And once that rhythm shifts, the outcome does too. So today, what I'm offering isn't just a mindset, it's a method, a practice, a daily ritual that, in just 1 week, took me from passive to purposeful, from wishful to driven, from average to intentional. It can do the same for you. You don't need more hours in the day. You need better choices within those hours. So let's start with the foundation: mastering your morning. Those first 30 minutes after waking hold immense power, more than most ever recognize. Because how you begin your day shapes how you carry it, and how you carry your day shapes your life. But most people wake up groggy, reach for their phones, scroll through notifications, and instantly feel behind, reacting instead of creating. But think about it: if your day begins in defense, how can you expect to win? What I learned is that mornings belong to those who are committed. If you're serious about growth, you must treat your morning as sacred. I started by setting my alarm 30 minutes earlier. Not an hour, just enough to create space for purpose. And those 30 minutes? Here's how I used them. The first 5 were for me. No phone, no demands, just quiet. I'd sit in silence or focus on deep breathing. Call it meditation or stillness. It doesn't matter. What matters is it gave me control. Before the world could pull me in 100 directions, I aligned myself internally. In that silence, I could hear my own direction. Then I moved, not a full workout, just a few stretches or a brisk walk. Because movement shifts emotion. If you want to feel powerful, start by acting that way. You're not signaling the world, you're signaling your brain. We're awake. We're in charge. Next, I touched my goals. I reviewed the top 3 things I wanted to complete. Not a to-do list of 10, just 3 core priorities. That's clarity. That's momentum. Because when your mind has direction, it doesn't wander, and wandering leads to delay. So tomorrow, don't wake up and reach for your phone. Breathe, move, focus. Make it a sacred habit. Not an option, not a maybe, but a non-negotiable. Because procrastination steals more dreams than failure ever will. Not because people lack skill or time, but because they wait, they hesitate, they fear failure, judgment, or just the unknown. But what I've found is this: the longer you delay, the harder it gets to begin. And the only cure? Immediate action. That's the antidote to anxiety. Act quickly, before your mind creates reasons to stop you. I'm tired, I'll do it later. That's when you act anyway. Not with thought, but motion. Here's what helped me: the 5-minute rule. If something feels overwhelming, I commit to doing just 5 minutes. Not an hour, just 5. And in those minutes, something shifts. Resistance fades. Momentum builds. The heavy becomes light. The confusing becomes doable. Why? Because movement clears the fog. When you sit still, you spiral. When you act, you gain clarity. Want to beat procrastination? Break your goals down. Don't focus on the mountain. Find the next foothold. Need to write something? Just start with 1 sentence. Want to get fit? Just put on your shoes and walk around the block. Success isn't about a grand gesture, it's about small, messy steps taken immediately. I once coached a man who froze whenever he thought about starting his business. Too many unknowns, too many fears. So we made a pact: just 5 minutes each day researching. No pressure, just movement. Within a week, he was doing 15, then 30. Within 6 months, he had a real business. It started with 5 minutes. Done daily. Progress is addictive. Each action builds momentum, and momentum destroys procrastination. It pulls you forward. Suddenly, you're not thinking about starting, you're already in motion. Here's the truth: you don't need to feel motivated to act. Action creates motivation. High performers don't wait until they feel like it. They ask, "What's next?" and do it anyway. So starting today, become that person. One who acts immediately. No internal debate. If something enters your mind, call, write, reply. You do it. Set a timer. Give it 5 minutes. And see what unfolds. You'll gain rhythm. You'll build trust in yourself. You'll stop seeing yourself as someone who waits. And start becoming someone who creates. Because it's not the massive moves that change lives, it's the small, consistent ones. Master the habit of quick action and no dream is too distant. Because momentum isn't found, it's built. Step by step, win by win. Let me share something powerful. I created a habit of starting each day with one meaningful win. Just one. Before noon, maybe reading 10 pages, sending an email, a workout, something that advanced me. Why? Because wins build energy. They build confidence. Even a tiny win tells your mind, we're making progress. Execution becomes identity. I follow through. And that identity? That's gold. It builds belief, and belief becomes unstoppable. So take your goal. Ask yourself, what's one simple action I can take today to move forward? Not finish. Just move. Send a message. Write a sentence. Research for 10 minutes. Each action? A brick. Stack them, one after another. Before you know it, a week of wins becomes a month. And soon, impossible becomes inevitable. A student of mine once felt paralyzed by his career goals. The vision overwhelmed him, so we simplified it. Just one win per day. Resume one day. Research the next. A cold email after that. Within weeks, interviews. A month later, a new job. It wasn't magic, it was motion. Most people don't fail because they lack ambition. They fail because they don't chunk their dreams into daily action. They wait for ideal moments, for inspiration. But success doesn't reward waiting, it rewards movement. And momentum changes how you see yourself. From, I want to write, to, I write. From, I want to be fit, to, I move daily. That identity shift? It's everything. But consistency, not intensity, gets you there. The tortoise wins not with speed, but with consistency. Day after day, step by step. Environment matters too. You can have the strongest will, but if your surroundings distract you, they'll eventually win. So the first step? Audit your environment. What's derailing your focus? What's quietly pulling you off track? Start with your phone. Those notifications aren't harmless, they're hooks. Every buzz costs you attention. So turn off the unnecessary. Better yet, schedule time to check messages. Outside of that, cut it off. You don't owe the world 24/7 access. Next, your workspace. Clutter clouds focus. A messy desk leads to a cluttered mind. So tidy it up, organize it, make it a space for creation, not delay. Let everything around you support your mission. Then there's your time. One of my greatest changes was assigning every hour a purpose. Mornings for deep work, afternoons for calls, evenings for rest or learning. No multitasking, no drifting, just structure. And yes, life throws surprises. But structure gives you power, not rigidity. Don't let unplanned moments become excuses. A loose framework beats chaotic freedom. And here's a tough one. Some distractions wear human faces. Not everyone values growth. Some thrive on drama. If you let them, their chaos becomes your energy. So ask, do your relationships sharpen you, or dull your edge? I started treating my attention like currency. Every minute is money. Would you hand out $100 bills for every interruption? Of course not, but we do it with time. So start tracking your distractions. What pulled you off course? For how long? What did it cost? Awareness is the first step to change. Each week, ask, what stole my focus? How can I prevent that? That's how pros operate, not through intensity, but intentionality. Because the world will always tempt you with distractions. But you can choose differently. You can guard your focus like your future depends on it, because it does. Control your space, filter your input, protect your attention, and watch how much changes in a week. Most people stay busy, few stay effective. The difference? Game changing. It's not that they aren't working, it's that they're working on the wrong things. Replying to emails, jumping between tasks, always moving, rarely progressing. Why? Because they haven't learned the 80/20 rule. It's simple. 80% of your outcomes come from 20% of your efforts. The rest? It's noise. I used to fill my days with busywork, designing, responding, tweaking, but only one task truly drove growth: making calls, closing deals. That was my 20%. So I protected that task. And the results followed. The mistake most make? Treating all tasks equally, making endless to-do lists, checking boxes, but not moving forward. You don't get paid for effort. You get paid for results. So focus on the few that matter most. Here's the process. List all your tasks. Circle the top 20%, the ones that create real progress. Then eliminate, automate, or delegate the rest. Block time for that high-impact work. Guard it fiercely. 1 hour of focused effort beats 8 hours of scatter. And the 80-20th principle? It applies to people too. Some bring most of your stress. Others deliver most of your support. Be mindful of who gets your time. So ask, what task am I avoiding that would move me forward today? That's your priority. Do it, now. Because the secret isn't doing more, it's doing what matters most. That's how I changed my life. Not in a year, in a week, with one decision, one task, one repeatable habit. So start today. Find your 20%, prioritize it, protect it, and watch the results multiply. Discipline, friend, isn't something you wait for. It's something you build. Most people think they need to feel ready to begin. But motivation is fleeting. Discipline is a choice. If I based my success on how I felt, I'd have failed. Every single time. Because feelings lie. They whisper excuses. But commitment? That's truth. So how do you train discipline? Through daily non-negotiables. 2 or 3 actions you commit to, no matter what. No excuses. Just execution. One of mine? Reading 10 pages daily. Small, right? But over a year. That's over 3.500 pages. Do that for 5 years? That's a mental library. Another? Exercise. Even 15 minutes. I didn't always want to, but I always did. That's the key. Doing it regardless of how you feel. And with each follow-through, you strengthen your will. You prove to yourself, you're reliable. Discipline builds identity, not through perfection, but through persistence. Pick your non-negotiables. Maybe it's waking up at 6. Drinking water. Journaling. Keep it small. Keep it sacred. When life hits, and it will, those rituals become your anchor. They remind you of who you are. Because success doesn't belong to the most gifted. It belongs to the most disciplined. Brick by brick, habit by habit. That's how discipline is formed. And that's how your future is shaped. Dreams without structure are fantasies. They float like clouds, beautiful but unreachable. Want change? Make your goals smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. Don't just say, I want to be successful. Define it. I want $5,000 per month from my business by year-end. Now that's actionable. Make it measurable. Track your numbers. Sales, pages, progress. Make it achievable. Challenge yourself, but keep it real. Make it relevant. Your goal should matter to you, not someone else. Make it time-bound. Deadlines spark urgency. They trigger creative solutions. Then, break those goals down. Monthly, weekly, daily. A goal to write a book in 90 days? Feels huge, but writing 500 words daily? That's doable. Track everything. Your progress, your consistency. Use journals, charts, whatever works. And if you miss a day, don't quit. Adjust. Restart. Success is a result, not of effort alone, but of structure. Write your goals. Post them. Review them weekly. Track them daily. Because what gets written, gets remembered. What gets tracked, gets improved. Start a success journal, not just to log wins, but to reflect. To grow. Spend 10 minutes a night. Write what you achieved, learned, and can improve. Don't just record perfection, record honesty. Your journal isn't a highlight reel. It's your battle log. And through reflection, you gain wisdom. Pause. Observe. Adjust. Celebrate the wins. Own the slips. Keep going. Because the path to your best life isn't built on random hope. It's built on consistent, intentional action. And it can begin right now.